Good morning. All right, going live on TikTok. Choppy today. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, we went from 109 to 126 in 10 days. Now we're at 122. I'm not gonna sweat it too much. I know Ethereum's, I don't know. I have a limit order set for Ethereum at 4264. So there is that. Hello, Sam. Hello, Jonah. Reminder, I suppose, on the I have I am expecting Bitcoin to go a little bit lower than where it went 2 days ago, and then I'm going to be looking for bullish divergences. Hello, user 171. Bro, you losing weight? Whenever I get a haircut, people tell me I'm losing weight. So yes, I am. I actually am this time. But like in the past, when people, when I've gotten a haircut and I wasn't losing weight, people were like, "Bro, losing weight." All I want is for near to hit $4. It'll get there. Bitcoin dominance. How am I feeling about Bitcoin dominance? Again, I am giving it a projection. Bitcoin dominance is looking short-term bullish right now. I'm giving it a projection of hitting the 21-week EMA, which is currently at 60.4%. So you're so thin now. My haircut helps. Yo, why weren't you golfing with Ty and Calvin? Would have been good. I can't afford to golf with Ty and Calvin. They're both multimillionaires. I am not. So I would assume Calvin's a multimillionaire. I know Ty is. Good afternoon, Bubba Disco. Will we get an alt run like 2021 in your opinion? There we go. No. We'll get something. Not so. I'm assuming when you ask that question, alt run like 2021, you're referring to the fourth quarter of 2021, or maybe early 2020, or sorry, fourth quarter of 2025, or maybe early 2026. And no, if we're gonna get something, it's going to be less intense than that. And I do think we're gonna get something. It's over. No, pack your bags. Yeah. Yep. It's one of those days. I didn't want to go live today. It's not fun going live on red days. You know, it was up only last week, so that was fun. But this week we're cooling off a little bit. Considering shorting COAI, I wasn't. Let's see. Is it possible? Yeah, I guess you can short it. No. It's too new. I have no idea how high this can go. You're definitely rich, bro. I am not rich. Trust me. I know, and maybe some of you will look down on me for that. But I might be the poorest influencer, crypto influencer, you know. So all right, clips and chips. I see your comment about Ty. You'll soon be a multimillionaire. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances of one day being a multimillionaire. The problem is my monthly. Like I would be a multimillionaire right now if I was in a different situation with my monthly expenses with my family. It's like I have to make $100,000 a year just to break even. Honestly, that's just where I am right now. So, good morning, Albert. Why do you think we won't? You must be new, Draven. Listen, you're talking about intensity of 2021. That's what I'm referring to. I think altcoins are going to make a move. I think it's going to go well. You'll make some gains, but like we're not matching the intensity of 2021. 2021 and January of 2018 were a perfect storm of DXY plummeting, of super low interest rates, of manufacturing, the business cycle being at its peak, of liquidity cycle being at its peak. We have some things in place right now for a good run with altcoins, but not 2021 or 2018 levels. And again, I'm assuming that you are referring to you're of the mindset that it has to happen this quarter or maybe early next quarter. And if you're going to limit me to that window, the stars aren't perfectly aligned for that. They're aligned for something, but there is no way we are getting an altcoin run within that window that matches 2021. It's not happening. And I've stressed this over and over again. And then there's always some people who will come in here and be like, just assume that I'm like everyone else in my perspective on alt season, and I'm not. If you want to follow the herd, they're going to tell you something different. But yeah, useless near an all-time high. I own some useless. I might sell some. That's crazy. I see that, DevTuber. Retail is gone, huh? Yeah, retail will come when at the worst possible time for them. API 3 keeps showing signs of major moves. Are you talking about fundamentally? Because I don't care about things. I mean, yeah, big spike up yesterday or a couple of days ago. Now it's back down. Yeah, maybe API 3 will rip given how violent these moves have been and putting in higher floors. On paper twice, yes. Your kids will make me my kids will make me a multimillionaire. All right. Thank you, X. Really appreciate the words of encouragement. Hello, Anthony. For now, shorting? No, I wouldn't. I mean, like Ethereum, I have a limit order set on a long for Ethereum at 42.64. You want to short? I think if we get down to that level, we're going to bounce off of it. So I think we're closer to a bottom than we are to a peak. There's just certain things I want to see before getting in entirely or getting whatever. Not getting in entirely. My bags are packed. Thank you, Senior Frisk, for the follow. Agree. Things are so different in 2025. My thought, December 2024 at best. Pete, I would actually say better than December 2024. But do you think going to take long to recover? Oh, man. No, I am still of the mindset that we are in the middle of October. It's just day to day is a grind, man. Fresh haircut. Yep. Scoop up more XRP or AVAX with this dip. I'd say Avalanche. There's another one. I have a limit order for 26.37. 26.27 on Avalanche. Will it get there? I don't know, but I think that'd be a good level. It's probably not going to get there now that I think about it. We'll see. JN Crypto, thank you. What do you reckon ETH can drop to short term? 42.86. Did we top? No. Bro, Zcash has done 5x in nearly 3 months. What? I see Zcash. I have no interest in Zcash. At some point, this is going to stop and then come down pretty hard. But I've been saying, like, normally I see a chart like Zcash's and I get pretty greedy because I want to short it, but I'm not messing with that with Zcash. Absolutely not. I don't mess around with those privacy coins when it comes to shorting them, because they can do what Zcash, they can just keep going up for a bit. before they crash down. So timing that is too difficult. Thanks for your time. Do you ever take profits from Bitcoin or let it ride? We need to see Bitcoin go vertical. We need to see Bitcoin at least over 200,000, but I probably wouldn't even sell at 200,000. I mean, maybe 300,000, maybe. But like if we didn't hit 300,000 until 2029 or 2028 or something like that, no. You know, if we got to $300,000 by the end of the year, yes, I'm absolutely going to be selling some Bitcoin. But that's probably not happening. Eric, thanks for the follow. What do you think about Rex? Rex, like the Land Wolf guy and Brett guy who like turned off all his socials. Are you talking about him? Is that a crypto? Do you think we'll reach over 125 for Bitcoin this month? I think we'll reach over 130 for Bitcoin this month. Thoughts on Sologenic? Ripped in December, hasn't done much. Yeah, Sologenic is kind of lumped in with those ISO coins. So I'm not surprised that Sologenic hasn't really done much. I still think XRP has another very significant leg higher. And so because of that, Sologenic, I think will also do something, but I wouldn't touch it even now. So what's your SUI prediction when you hold it till 2030? I'm not holding anything till 2030 aside from Bitcoin and HEEHEE. SUI prediction, maybe $10, $11. Will you talk about your strategy accumulating Riot, Snap, and Bitcoin miners? Ooh, man. All right. Guys, this is very important. I'm going to take a minute on this, maybe a little more than that. Bitcoin miners, you guys should look into that. Do some research. Don't just go out and flat out buy them now because of me. But I'm telling you, these Bitcoin miners might actually go a lot higher than people are thinking because you got to picture this. AI data centers are just popping off all over the place. And Bitcoin miners actually have all the infrastructure of an AI data center. They have everything you need. And so for a lot of them, what they're doing right now is they are, I don't want to say rebranding. I want to say they're utilizing their existing infrastructure to take advantage of this massive wave that's happening right now. And it may be that like Riot blockchain, Marathon, Snap, some other ones just go well beyond like their 2021 peaks. So I'm in on it. I trade options with those things. I sell options, I buy shares, and Riot at $22 when it was at $6 in April, that doesn't scare me away from it at all. So do your own research. Don't just go out and buy it. There's somebody who has a pinned video in his profile on X. His username, his name is Part-Time Trader. I follow him. He has like 5,000 followers. Part-Time Trader on X has like a 15-minute video pinned on his profile talking about Riot. Riot's at $22 right now. He thinks, this is not me, but he thinks that Riot's going to $1,000. So, Coin Rex. Tell us a big coin to avoid with the most red flags. Tokenomics. Coin Rex, this looks like it rugged. I have no idea what this is. Yeah, no thanks. Same guy who said Bitcoin's going to 3K, by the way. DevTuber, let's not worry about that. Here's what I'll tell you about Part-Time Trader. He really influenced me to go very heavily into into gold and silver miners. And I did earlier this year. And I've made massive gains. I've made a killing from his calls. So let's not worry about, his longer term perspective, which is most likely way too bearish. But right now he's very bullish. Bitcoin dominance is going up. Yeah, I already talked about that. And I've given a mindset. I've given a perspective that I think we're going to get to the 21-week EMA, which is 60.39%. Is your pullback prediction still end of year, early Q1? If you're talking about after cutting rates, If you're talking about like all right, rate cuts, 2 months pump, and then I'm out. No. And a big reason why is just there's been a lot of things that have been invalidated as far as like, those first rate cuts last year. Now, I need to back up for a second. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people who are married to this idea that it has to happen in Q4 of 2025. If they dump their bags and we go through like this mini bearish moment that looks like the bear market in early 2026, and then all those people who sold in late 2025, they just massively sidelined. I could see something like that happening. But I have expect nothing. There are no rules, only guides. So I'm going to sell. I'm going to hold until altcoins go like this, and then I'm going to sell when there's any sort of weakness with that. Whenever that is, if that's tomorrow that altcoins go like this, or if it's 8 months from now, I'm holding until that happens. Now, whatever. Well, no, is that true? Let me actually back up a little bit on that. So here's kind of a fail-safe of mine. If Ethereum were to lose its 4-year trend line in a major way, and let's say it got down under $3,500, I'd probably do a little bit risk off, but I don't think that's going to happen. Muscoot, thanks for the follow. Crypto mining done by AI. I'm not sure what you're asking, Bixie. VeChain price prediction. How about beyond its 2024 peak? That's all I can commit to. Thoughts on Prime? ETH treasuries. I haven't looked into ETH treasuries all that much. Prime looks terrible. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Prime. I mean, yeah, sure. At some point, maybe this will rip, but I have zero interest in buying this right now. We need to see Ethereum get into price discovery first before I'd be at all interested in something like Prime. Yeah, $1,000. Can TIE reach 30 cents? It's definitely possible, yeah. What do you think about Dude? Ziomo, you're asking me really random cryptos, man. You're asking me stuff that I'm just not familiar with. I see a chart like this. I have zero interest in it. It's going vertical right now. Cool, No thanks. No thanks. I'm much more interested in cryptos that are just generally showing bullish structure and not one that, let's see, how many X's did it do? It did what? 5 X's in a week, 2 weeks. So do you recommend any resource to learn how to sell options? No, it's really easy, Rob. It's super easy. Like go on Robinhood, if you have Robinhood, buy 100 shares of a stock. I don't know what stock. How about there's some stocks that I've had on my radar. How about NIO, the electric car company from China? So NIO, ticker NIO, buy 100 shares of it. Cost you like $750 or something like that. And then click on trade options and then hit the, instead of buy, sell and sell. I'm sure there's videos on YouTube with instructions. I'm sure I have every confidence that you would be able to figure out how to do it. Why are you out of all coins? I didn't say anything about being out of all coins. My bags are packed. I'm about done. Aside from my $200 to $1 million wallet, I'm done with my bags until at least Ethereum gets into price discovery. Like I'm done with how much I've accumulated. When will be the rate cuts? I mean, there was a rate cut in September. There's most likely going to be another one at the end of this month. Still liking Chainlink to 44. I think my target was 48, which, a lot of people have been hating on me for that it's too low. So What was the stock you mentioned going 1,000? Riot. Fetch. Again, I mean, I talk, people ask me about these older AI cryptos all the time. No, thank you. Fetch, they had their run. Fetch, AOs, Render. I'll buy those in the bear market. Not interested right now. Can you look at the ETH chart for me? I'm assuming, is it really, I would assume it's correlated with ETH. No, it's not. Never mind. I don't know what to say about that. My goodness. All right, so this thing has had a couple like massive spikes. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm going to have to pass on that one. Why is ADA stuck at low 80 cents? All eyes were waiting for Ethereum, man. So ADA's at a decent entry right now. How's Dogecoin doing? Dogecoin's chart looks a lot better than a lot of other charts right now. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So, I mean, I'm hoping at least that it doesn't put in a lower low on the daily chart. It did put in a lower high, but I don't think from here that it would put in a lower low. So, what date are the rate cuts? October 30th is the next one, I think. What do you think about Arweave? Man, this is the problem with going live on any day, even when things are green. You know, people will ask me about different cryptos and they all look terrible. Like Arweave, AOS, Arweave does not look good, but it's close to a bottom. That's my answer to like 90% of cryptos that people would ask me about. Arweave's chart, not interested in buying Arweave. AOS looks terrible. Fetch AI looks terrible. So at some point, you know, ETH getting into price discovery, maybe they'll look a lot better. Alex, I did a calculation. You need over $500,000 worth of QQQI to replace your income. That sounds about right. Don't be suspicious. I've always had $500,000 in mind. Thank you, JN. $500,000 in mind. There's plenty of crypto. There's plenty of ETFs like QQQI. That if I could get to $500,000 in those high dividend yielding ETFs, that I'd be pretty much set to. Now I can take my money from that and pay my bills, and then finally I'll be set free to actually be able to like build my portfolio in a way that would be really exciting. Can we get a detailed rundown of the top 100 cryptos? 10 minutes per crypto. You know what I'm going to do, Amir? I am going to, I have one splurge that I'm going to make when I make my millions, and I'm going to travel to Luton, and I'm going to bask in the glories of Luton for 2 weeks at least, maybe a month. I'm exploring Luton National Park. I'm probably just going to spend a few days at the Luton Airport, but Luton National Park, all those high rises in Luton. Some of you are probably really confused right now. I made a joke video on my personal account that's going viral right now. It has like 300,000 views, where like I react to Luton, which is like basically like Shanghai, and the video is claiming that this is all in Luton, but it's Shanghai and Singapore and all this. So anyway, sorry, I spent way too much time on that. First time you're in my FYP in 6 months. Is crypto hype back? No, it's not. And welcome, I guess. Chainlink will go to at least near 70 in my opinion. Maybe you're right. I'd rather sell too low than not sell. Red days have taught me enough. Yeah. Hello, Roboto OG. Long time no see. Yeah, I mean, my main account got banned. Someone's trying to get me to pay him $3,000 to stop reporting my videos. Not going to do it. Are you still 7 to 12K ETH price prediction? 7 to 10K. XCN, please. Yeah, sure. How about I look up another depressing chart? XCN. Huh, it looks depressing. Now this one could actually go a little bit lower, but you know, look at what it did in 2025, early 2025. So they're buying ETH like BMNR and SBET. Okay. I'm awaiting for a long Bitcoin will go lower than explode new all-time high. Yeah, that's my mindset right now, user 358, is I think Bitcoin is going to go a little bit lower than where it went a couple of days ago, and then I'm going to be watching like a hawk on the 4-hour chart to see if there's any bullish divergences, and if so, I'm getting in. That's all I really care about right now. I want to see some bullish divergences on the 4-hour chart. What are some good coins to look at right now? Micros. I have no micros for you, none. Maybe Tharwa, you know, but for me, I have Dogecoin, Sui, and Avalanche. Those are my 3 biggest bags for non-Bitcoin cryptos, and I'm holding those until, you know, hopefully we moon. Can you see ETH dropping sub 4K? Yeah, maybe. But my entry's 42.56, I think is what it was. Expectations with gold, what would cause it to either drop or continue rising? Not sure how to play it. Good question, Dave. Sorry, guys, I'm way behind on the comments. And sorry, ZMO, sometimes you just make me want to pull my hair out of my head. So just for the sake of being able to keep up with the comments, I'm going to mute you for the rest of this live. No offense. All right, so gold. Here's the thing with gold. And I scrolled down to the bottom of the chat on TikTok. I'm sorry. Gold on the RSI is more overbought than it's been, I think, since 1980. I think on the daily RSI, the weekly RSI, and I really just think that this is a final short squeeze on gold until, and then after this, especially considering the fact that silver hit $50 today, that whatever it peaks at, if it hasn't already peaked, I think it's going to take another year or so to break through that. Out of your 3 large bags, which to invest now apart from HEEHEE? It's tough. I think Dogecoin is going to give you the instant gratification out of all those. I think Avalanche would give you the best returns. So, do you invest in the S&P? I have a decent stock portfolio that's been killing it lately. I actually have more in stocks than I do in crypto right now. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like there is an alt season happening, but it's in the stock market and it's with AI stocks. Do you have Chinese stocks? I have NEO. And it's like with these small cap AI stocks, and it might run for a bit here. Go to Wall Street Bets on Reddit. Why do you use the 4-hour charts to monitor bullish divergences? Why is the 4-hour particularly useful? Because the daily is too long of a time frame. Rob, it's pretty simple. Daily is too long of a time frame. Now, if I do see bullish divergences on the daily, that's awesome. But 4-hour, it's like, you know, I would hope to see a bullish divergence on the 4-hour form like every few weeks. So that's why for me it's the 4-hour. No S&P ETF, no. Yeah, AMD's gone crazy. Russell 2000 is an alt season indicator. Yeah, I think so. And I mean, Russell 2000's on track. Oh, man, foregone. Uniswap liquidation at 742. Thank you for the Uniswap, for the super chat, foregone. All right, 742. You're going to be playing with fire, man. Now, you know, you could... do we have something here? Oh, shoot. I put the wrong thing. Do we have something here? Maybe Uniswap will hold a floor. But, given the fact that Uniswap went to 730, could it put in a higher low and go to 742? Maybe. No comment on WLFI at 0.0175. No, I don't pay attention to World Liberty. Can you check my chart? What chart? Killing it on AMD stock, thinking of taking these gains, Christmas gain vibes. I had one share of AMD. And the reason why I bought one share is because I heard about it. Not that I know what AMD is, but I heard that people were really bullish on it. And I was like, I'm going to buy one share just for future reference. So it's in my portfolio. I can see it. Then I can buy more later. And I never did, of course. So I sold my one share of AMD earlier this week. All right, bullish divergence on VeChain on the weekly chart. I don't see it. I'll just take your word for it. I don't see it though. Thought on say. Hopefully say doesn't go any lower. That's not going to be bullish for say. That's going to be pretty bearish. If it puts in a lower low than 26.5 cents. But again, you never know. You never know. Do you think these tech stocks are in a bubble? Sure. How would I say that? Sure. But I mean, the thing that I keep going back to is I think that when in the stock market that we have ahead of us a 1999, that we're maybe in the early stages of a 1999 scenario. Like somebody posted on X, I saw this magazine cover from 1998 saying the bubble was about to burst. We're in this massive bubble. We're about to burst. And then what happened? 1999 came and it went way higher. And so I have my target for the S&P 500. It's at 8,100. S&P's at what, 60 something right now? 60, 67. NASDAQ, I think, would outperform S&P. So I think we, even though, yes, it's a bubble, it can go higher. But then the issue with all right, you're going to cash out to dollars. The dollar's a bigger bubble than any of them. Bottom 15 October. Why October 15th? I wouldn't be surprised if we bottomed out before October 15th. How much lower can Pengu go? Pengu looks all right. I mean, maybe it'll go down to the 21-week EMA again, 27 cents. What's happening to ETH? I have an entry at 4,200 something. What's my entry? 4264, 4265. So that's where I'm going. Do you have anything put into XRP? I accidentally sold my XRP last week. So dumb. So maybe I'll buy back in. Different bubble. These tech stocks actually make profit. Yeah, unlike pets.com. Where do you see Bitcoin in 2026? I could see Bitcoin going higher than whatever its 2025 peak is. I could see it going higher in 2026. But I'm really for Bitcoin, and this is just for Bitcoin, not for altcoins. I have been saying consistently, end of 2027, I think Bitcoin's going to be way, way higher than where it is right now. I mean, consider this, guys. I know today sucks, but I don't buy it. I don't buy this dump. Let me read to you how much the ETFs have bought in Bitcoin. Thank you for that cat. The last 8 days here, $518 million worth 429 million, 875 million, 627 million, 985 million, 1.2 billion, 875 million, 440 million. That's for Bitcoin. That's multiples. That is a much larger amount of Bitcoin than the amount of Bitcoin that's mined per day. Ethereum, 546 million, 127 million, 80 million, 307 million, 233 million, 181 million, 420 million, 69 million. And again, thank you, JN. That's way, way more ETH than is minted per day. I don't see this stopping. Now I know that's only one thing, but what I think is happening right now is just Binance flushing out leverage, because Binance is too big. They're too big of a beast in this space, and so like they're not in full control of the price of Bitcoin, but like they're going to control it however much they can to shake out leverage so that they can make lots of money. GM Alex, thank you for coming on and helping us. No problem. Holding 10 AMD since 79. I'm just sick of holding. Flip it to Bitcoin or ETH. Why not do some research on some stocks, JN? I know you've been here for a while. You know, I mean, my stock portfolio is not affected by today's moves down. Thank you for the follow. Borussia Dortmund Lion guy. I don't know. You have a... Let's see. Thought on Tia. Tia's trash. Now, I saw a chart predicting Celestia to get to $40-something. I think that's insane. So maybe that person's right and I'm wrong, but Celestia, terrible tokenomics. No Uptober so far for alts. Sean, you're quite a baby. You're not as bad as Foregone, but you're pretty close. No offense. Stocks is so slow. Not the stocks that are experiencing the alt season that I'm talking about right now. And I know I'm calling it alt season, but Lofi, look at Lofi. Lofi's a falling knife. What do you want me to see with Lofi? Now, I've done very well on Lofi. I've just, no thank you right now. Let's give it some time. Love you too. Well, I love you. Do you know of Tibber? What, man? Tibber? It's not on TradingView. I have no idea. Thoughts of selling gold for Riot? Man. DevTuber, I'll just tell you this. I'm never going to ever, you're never going to hear me say sell gold for this, for anything. You know, early Bitcoin days, sell gold for Bitcoin. But man, gold, you just hold on to gold and then you die. Now, do I think Riot blockchain is going to outperform gold from here? Yes. Yes. But I would hate for you to sell your gold and then, you know, gold gets to $10,000 an ounce this decade and Riot blockchain is actually peaking and I'm just wrong. Where's Foregone? He's missing. We should check on him. He gave me a super chat on YouTube, asked me to look at Uniswap. What would the top be for Bitcoin in 2025? How about I'll say $155,000? Now, well, let me say two things. How about 138 to 155? That's where I'm going to say. And there is a reason behind that. I'm not just pulling that number out of my head. You said floor may hold. Oh yeah. All right, Foregone. Sorry about that. So, if you're watching on YouTube, I just drew a trend line. It's not the most reliable trend line, but like 768 or so. Punky Forgone is always here. He is, what's the word? He is omnipresent. Just remember that. What else? So, oh man, there's two cryptos right now that matter, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's wait on the other ones. Do I like Caspa? Ooh. I don't like the chart that I'm looking at. I like it fundamentally, but this chart looks really bad. It lost some support, and it's put in a lower low than where it bottomed out at in September. So when Beam, long after a new all-time high with Ethereum, Beam actually doesn't look that bad. How do you feel about Christmas meme coins from last year? I have a big bag of Rismus. Yeah. So I like that one. My only fear would be that, like, let's say that the market just tanks from here. Will Rismus do anything significant? I would still think that it can do something. Man, Toshi, yeah. So pull up Toshi. Toshi is a bullish looking chart, man. Yeah, I don't get it. What's so great about Toshi? So from here, maybe it'll put in another higher low, get in at 0.0083, something like that. So sell if it breaks 768. No. There could always be a wick foregone. Because, right now it's at 769. I would, man, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It could always wick below. So it's like, if I were to say no, sell at 760, that might be the bottom of a wick. Or do I say sell at 750? Well, that's really close to your liquidation. So, man, I don't want to say hold until you get liquidated, but maybe that's the answer. ADA, good entry price. I looked at ADA already, and it might actually be at a good entry price right now. Ondo. Let's see, Ondo. Man. This has to either be the bottom for Ondo or it's going to go a lot lower. Yeah, it's too difficult to say. Like it has to be done dumping. It has to. If not, then it can. And where would it go from here? It could go down like, man. Well, definitely in the 70s. You think it's great to buy now, or it'll probably go lower? Yeah, I've shared my perspective already. So I am expecting Bitcoin to go a little bit lower. And then I'm looking for, so lower than where it went on Monday, which is really close right now to where it went on Monday, but it has not gone lower yet. So where do we go from here? You know, maybe a brief appearance under $120,000 for Bitcoin. And then I want to see, shoot. All right, there's not going to be a bullish divergence on that because RSI on the 4 hour is already lower. So I'm just, however low we're going to go, the trigger for me is to look for a bullish divergence on the 4 hour chart. That's it. That's when I'll buy. I'm not buying anytime sooner or longing anytime sooner. I'm just waiting for that. Now that's for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, it's a little bit different. For Ethereum, I have a specific entry, at least for a scalp. And that entry is 42. Where is it? Oh, different ETH chart. 4264. 4265. I jumped on thinking Jamil would be doing the happy dance. Yeah. Good morning, Claudio. What do you look for in a meme coin that justifies buying it? There are so many. I don't know, man. You know, for me, the large cap meme coins, I don't need to look into anything to justify buying those. The smaller caps, I want to see, you know, the community. Sure, I'll look into whale wallets and all that, but what's up with VWA? I keep hearing about Vanguard. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that. Where did you learn your target gold trading skills? Target gold? I don't know. ETH target getting closer. Sure. Thoughts on Epic Chain? I'm assuming it's just kind of struggling a little bit here. And again, let's see ETH on the other side of an all-time high. And Epic, lots of altcoins will do well. Oh. What price would you cut your losses with VET? I don't have one. Jasmy, also don't have one. Well, I guess for Jasmy, if it were, it would have to go very low. If it were to go below and see multiple daily closes below 0.008, that's when I would cut my losses. So, all right, foregone. Maybe that's the play. I think BNB in near future is going to pass ETH in market cap. Probably not, CJ. I thought the same thing in 2021. Oh, gosh. Let's see. 172 billion versus 523. It's not happening. Do you think Flare and VeChain can recover? Yes. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore, at least for TikTok. I'm going to be done on TikTok. But I'm going to stay on YouTube, and I'll open up the chat to the general chat on YouTube. So if you want to stay on this live stream, head on over to YouTube, World War Bitcoin, and let me leave before they ban me. All right. Man, the despair. Every dump, just pure despair. Somebody shoot me. All right, regular chat is open on YouTube. So I want to check my video on my personal account that's going viral. See how many views it has. Hello, Tone. Wow. This is insane. 358,000 views. All right. Maybe I'm regretting. Maybe I'm going to regret this. Jasmy, good time to DCA. So look at Jasmy. It's right at a level of support that it really hasn't lost since April. So maybe this is a good time to get some Jasmy. But, you know, I'd be more interested on the other side of this trend line here. Thoughts on VThor chain? I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. And no compelling reason to buy it right now, but maybe eventually. Opinion on AXGT. AXGT, I mean, there's certain things fundamentally about AXGT that look very appealing right now, but I mean, the chart looks terrible. So RM, yes, I know that about Luton, but like, it's just, it was a funny video. It was, and I intentionally called it Luton and not Luton, so that people would get upset and be like, "Bro, it's Luton," and then thank you for that engagement. Just bought 10K of Penguin. Wish me luck. Good luck. What's your avalanche prediction? 90, 100, something like that. SXT. It's very new. It's on Coinbase. But it's like, man, this is new. You know, look at that. So maybe this is a bottom. Maybe it's bottomed out. I mean, that's where it bottomed last time, but it's just too difficult to tell. All right, what do I think about Arrow? I think that it's similar to Jasmy in some regards. Maybe I gave an entry last week, 98 cents. It went there, filled it. Now it's like, could it hold that floor and then break through here and then back test and then go up? That sounds good. Can ADA still return to its all-time high? I haven't really been on that train for a while. It could. But like, you know, I gave a $4.86 price target. That's beyond its all-time high. Ondo terrible. Ondo looks terrible right now. Yeah. We'll see. But, you know, the big thing is don't judge a candle when it's in process. That's been a major lesson of mine. This candle could just end up being a wick. And even if it were to close where at its low today, that would still be okay. All right, I'm just going to be on for a few more minutes here. Any thoughts on Cody? I don't like it. I mean, again, things can turn on a dime, but like, I would at least want to see this holding a floor, but it just keeps on putting in lower floors. So what are you going to do with it? I have not seen the influencer coin GMC. Green meme coin, is that it? I'm guessing that's not it. Is that $4 8 of the cycle like December to February if it happens? I'm not committing to that. I know a lot of people, they're of this mindset that it has to happen this quarter or early 2026, and I am not one of those people. Bought Pengu at 1.93 billion. What's Pengu right now? $1.8 billion. I mean, if you're biting your nails, you're probably overexposed. Axelar. Another super depressing chart. What do you want me to say? Hey, you know, at least there's some kind of floor here. All right, I think it was a mistake opening up this chat. Like AVAX end of the year, who knows? I think AVAX could peak at $90, $100, but I'm not committing to that for the end of the year. AXGT looks terrible. I already mentioned that. All alts in the toilet until they're not. That's one of the best comments I've heard. Yep, exactly. TARS AI, I would avoid it right now on the other side of an all-time high for Ethereum. I'd be much more interested in it. All right, I'm going to be done. See you guys.